is going on, my button mashers? It's me, NatesLegend, and as you can see, we are joined today by Doodly, and we have Jay back. The trio are here. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. Glad to be here. Always.
Good. Absolutely. I'm so glad to have you guys in. You guys are my favorite. We're really going to focus on the three of us here for the start of this year, trying to get the three of us really cemented as a part of the show, kind of rotate us through after that. So I'm glad to have you. I'm glad you guys were able to make it in. Doodles. So let's start with you though. You were messaging me something about a new mic, a headset, something about streaming. What's going on there?
Yeah, I might be. I got to get started on my channel here soon. I'm working on picking which games that I want to start streaming first. Looking probably going to be doing a lot of Dark Souls, I'm sure. And we'll see how that goes at first, at least. And then I'm open to suggestion, whatever games we got going on people want to see.
What we really need to do is get you a PS5 so that you can do Demon Souls that not a lot of people get to stream right now. You'd be like the #1 streamer, right? Like, let's go snag you one.
Yeah,
I would love to play Demon Souls right now.
Right.
Especially on PS5. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Well, Jay, also, what's new with you, man? It's you have a lot going on right now. What's happening?
Being a dad can take its toll on a man, but you know what? It's the process of being strong and showing everyone that you're stepping up to plate to take care of everything. So I actually I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm getting ready to launch Let's Talk About It. Relaunch it for the new year with even more than the 2 episodes that I had because I started late last year. But this year I'll be doing it on a weekly consistency, and you know I'm actually going to be super happy because I actually plan to have you guys on, both of you.
Fantastic! Oh, that's exciting. We'll dive into that a little later on. I want to give you a little bit of time to discuss that. So stick around at the end of the episode. So you can hear all about Jay's new channel, renewed channel, whatever we're gonna go with there. But stick around at the end of the episode so we can discuss that.
That works.
All right, so I like to start with a question, kind of become the norm. Again, you guys have had some time to think about it. So with all of the games coming out this year, we have a lot of sequels that are slated this year, over the next couple years, whatever else. So in your opinion, which sequel has the biggest shoes to fill, has the most to live up to based off its predecessors? Let's start with Jay.
For me, I would have to say the Mass Effect series, and the reason why I say Mass Effect is because Andromeda was just bad, and it was bad more on the graphics end because it felt like CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077. There were a lot of things unfinished. The storyline, a lot of people might disagree with me on that.
There he is. I need to get out. Wait, one moment here.
Son, Daddy's
Andromeda as well, though. I did play Andromeda a lot. I'm with Jay there. It did have some bugs.
Right, like it had the Cyberpunk 2077 feel to it, and it needed to be more finished, more refined. And we didn't get that, but nevertheless, I still enjoyed the storyline. You know what I mean? Like, I can't sit here and say that the storyline was bad, but I feel like EA as a company,
they've been slipping. They've let the ball drop on a lot of things. Like,
they did do a lot of really cool exploring though with the abilities as well.
Right.
Not to go the other way with it, but yeah, it had cool ideas. It had its problems.
Right.
I would love to see them put a little more effort into it. They, like I said, it feels like they slacked in the last few rounds of games. Let's really focus on those games and get them honed, and maybe you can reverse your image after all the bullshittery you put us through.
And one other thing I want to add to that is I want to know what happened to the rest of the crew on the Normandy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of unanswered questions there. So
you brought that up. Absolutely.
And those are the 2 main things that I believe out of most of all the video game history that needs to be corrected, needs to be solved, needs to be answered. For me personally, if you want to talk prequels or sequels to a game, what happened to Joker? You know what I'm saying? Like what happened to what happened to everybody? You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see Seth Green come back and reprise his role, because he just cracks me up in general. I love him as Chris on Family Guy. So I honestly feel that it would be best to finish it that way.
That's fair. That's fair. I can see that. I chose a slightly different game myself, and I chose God of War. I'm not even going to justify myself because that's today's episode. So I'm going to explain myself, right? Like, so NBD. Doodles, were you agreeing there, or did you have another choice as well?
My choice, and I've been struggling since we first brought up the idea of what I was going to pick. I had no idea. I was like, but it just clicked with me because I've been playing nothing but Hyrule Warriors lately, and we're going to talk about this. But
okay, yep, it's on the slate. We have that in the calendar.
Breath of the Wild 2 has some shoes to fill. That's where I'm at.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
That's where I'm at.
I hadn't even thought of the Switch.
I saw the.
Oh my goodness!
I saw the sword. My wife put up.
And
I was just like,
hidden in plain sight.
There's my choice. That's the one.
Okay. Fantastic, great answers across the board there. That was wonderful. I think you guys got some good answers. Good games to look forward to. So, but we'll move right along. Today I decided to change things up just a little bit, give these guys a little bit of responsibility. So, Doodles is going to go ahead and take over the news today. So, if you could, go ahead. What do you got for us?
I got you. Yeah, just a couple quick stories. So the game that we were talking about in the last episode, I believe we were talking about Hogwarts Legacy, was one of our big games that was supposed to come out. It's been delayed. The studio, the developer has been quoted that they just want to give the game the time it deserves, that the time it needs. Let me actually look at that before. Yeah, it said we are giving the game the time it needs. It was the quote.
Okay.
And I think it's a great call. I mean, it seems like if you want to do something as immersive as a Harry Potter RPG, just give it the time that you want to give it.
You go into it to make it happen.
Do the work, write stories, make more side quests. You know what? Make this game just have so much depth that you just get lost in it, and that's kind of the goal, right? So let's go for it.
Absolutely. I would agree.
Oh, and I saw the comment. Thank you.
Go ahead with more news, though. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Also, we
you're
had
still
Scott
on the
Pilgrim.
clock here, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. We had Scott Pilgrim coming out. Sorry. Scott Pilgrim's coming out tomorrow, actually, the DLC. It's the complete edition from the game that was released back in 2010. So if you're a fan of Scott Pilgrim, it's going to have all the DLCs that was released after, and it's going to be all in one package. So that's coming out tomorrow on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, and PC. We also have Hitman 3 coming out on the 20th for the new gen consoles and the old consoles as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all we got for the news for this next week in gaming, as far as I see.
Fantastic. Looking forward to those games. Jay, you also had some big news here come out as well.
Yeah, actually I did. Just a little more than an hour and a half ago, I was just scrolling through Twitter and I see a post from the co-founder of CD Projekt Red talking about what's going on in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. And he did give a very detailed apology. Of course, it was scripted. You have to read from something, but you can tell he was taking it very serious. And honestly, I think it was because they were under pressure and all that other good stuff, which is why the game was rushed the way it was. It's not that they didn't know that everything was bad. It was because of considering the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. And some could say the same about Bungie and Destiny 2 Beyond Light. But he detailed the 3 hot fixes that came out, and he also detailed the free DLCs and the cross-platform things that are going to be coming out later on this year for what they plan to do to fix all the bugs and stuff in the game so people can actually enjoy the game, so that they can come back to the console stores between PlayStation, Xbox, and other platforms. So that's pretty much everything I got for the news at the moment.
That's really cool of them to release that. I mean, they've had their statements. They've released, oh, we're sorry, it's bad, whatever else. People have said things, but like to come out and give the detailed, like basically their game plan for it, I feel like gives them an edge above what I would say Assassin's Creed is doing right now. I haven't heard much. I mean, I know that they're looking into a bunch of fixes, and we just got another thing. We just got a bunch of we got an update from Assassin's Creed. They will be fixing quite a few of those quests that have been breaking the game. I don't have the list. I didn't even think about it, if I'm honest, until now. But yeah, they did release a list. Go check it out. And now I've forgotten where I was going with that.
Honestly, with Cyberpunk,
okay, go ahead.
ADHD at its finest.
Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel it. No, me too. So after, you know what, when you release a game with the announcement coming from someone as awesome as Keanu Reeves, and then the result of the bugs and stuff, I feel like, man, Keanu Reeves. He's just so awesome. And then Cyberpunk just really kind of broke my heart a little bit.
And I will give companies a break this year. I've decided at this point, almost every single game I've been looking forward to has officially been pushed back, right? Like, well, not every game, but like the majority of the games that I'm excited for are getting pushed back. So I've decided to go ahead and give companies and developers a break. COVID sucks. Like it really does, and so for that reason, have your time. Please still release a good game, but with Cyberpunk
taken care of.
Yeah, but they didn't really have. I don't feel like they had a fair chance to test the game with the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X coming out. I don't feel like they had quite as fair of a chance with COVID into the mix. I'm giving everybody a break. Everybody officially gets a free pass on if you release the game without delaying it. It's allowed to be broken, but if you or you are allowed to delay the game, just make sure it's fixed. That's my new rule.
Natural number.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, technically, I've been like that since the very beginning. Yeah. You kind of know, you kind of know. So,
yeah.
So fair enough, and we're gonna go ahead and move to the only. I mean, I almost had a segue there if I wanted to just think clearly instead of using ADHD. But we're gonna go ahead and talk about Ubisoft today. For just a few moments here. So it was announced today that Lucasfilms is actually returning. Lucasfilms Gaming is returning. It will be the home to all things Lucasfilm video game related releases. At least per the article I read, that's what was my understanding. And it was announced, however, that Ubisoft would actually be developing, so I guess that last little tidbit wouldn't be accurate, but Ubisoft is developing an open world Star Wars game.
Yes, I did read that as well. About an hour ago.
Oh, excited! Yes, I mean it released this morning. So here's what that tells me, right? Is EA has lost its exclusivity. I don't know what the last straw was, but
it's probably the loot box system or whatever they're being sued about in the UK that recently just popped up. So I am actually super excited since it's going to end in 2023. We only have to put up with 2 or 3 more years of Star Wars being produced by EA. I mean, EA has had Star Wars since the early 2000s, and I think it's time to give another developer a shot to get it done. You know what I mean? It's just like when what was it? Bungie left Activision. I think it was a smart move for them to do. A lot of people think it was dumb, but at the same time, these companies have the right to try to branch out and do it themselves. And I think that Lucasfilm Arts would be great at a different place other than EA. Honestly, I would like to see the Need for Speed franchise leave EA as well. DICE and everybody else.
There's a lot of games that I want to leave EA. If EA went away completely and gave their games away, I wouldn't be mad.
Well, what they should have done with the Battlefront, in my opinion.
Oh
Which
yeah, Battlefront.
isn't
Okay, yeah, go
you
ahead.
know, they like look at Call of Duty back in the day that you had Infinity Ward and Treyarch playing volleyball with the IP, and it was working out great. You had fans that were specifically Black Ops fans. You had fans that were specifically Modern Warfare fans because the way the game's played. Now, giving the reins to EA for so long it's been counterproductive because they've been fumbling through both games.
And that's how the game has kind of gotten stale. Yeah, that makes I would agree with that point. I'm just worried that this is nothing more than a trial run. That's my biggest worry. Is that okay? So EA did all right with the Jedi game, and they did all right with the spaceship flying game, but they didn't do great with it. So after all of the failures, they didn't come back and hit it out of the park. Well, let's just see if someone else can do it. And if they can, then we'll open it up. But if they can't, then why not just keep paying them to play or to have a broken game that everybody else is going to have too? So I am a little bit worried that it's just a trial run. But dude, Assassin's Creed meets Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally see it. And I also think that getting back to, besides the whole Star Wars thing, back to EA, since this is technically about them, I think that maybe there should be a change in leadership than previous years. That wouldn't hurt them at all. Have one person dedicated to the business aspect of EA. And then have one person dedicated to the game aspect of EA, where the guy who's head of the game aspect is the one with the final word, whether or not the game gets released or something like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they have something like that in place, but how it's perceived to us as the public, as the fans, as the gamers, is that there's only one person in charge, and that is the person who is like the head. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, maybe a change in leadership would probably help out, because maybe we wouldn't have as many loot box systems that they have and all this other good stuff, because they're at the head of the forefront of all of this. So, I feel that it's only right. Changing leadership would probably help out EA a lot. And that's probably why they lost their contract, because they're just not seeing eye to eye. It's just like Sony and Fox talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. As a whole, I think companies getting away from the microtransaction crutches is just a good idea. I think just do it and quit, grabbing people by the wallets. And
yeah,
it's not cool.
I say bullshittery because it is bullshittery. Like that is straight up what they put us through. Whether if they don't do loot boxes or microtransactions, then it's a crap game. If they do those, then it's a great game, but I'm having to pay out the wazoo just to play it. Like, stop with the bullshittery. That's it. Just stop with the bullshittery. All right. Nonetheless, out of curiosity, I want your guys' opinion on this. How much do you wonder, or how much do you think this is related to the comments that were made about a Mandalorian RPG?
Oh, man.
Because I do not remember who said it, but it was mentioned that it should be a thing. Go ahead.
A Mandalorian RPG would be great. Can you imagine playing as Ahsoka Tano? Oh my God, that would be spectacular. and I I've loved Ahsoka ever since I watched the Clone Wars. You know what I mean? Like season 1 of Clone Wars. I don't know, there's just something about her character that's just so relatable. And to see her transition, to see her progress throughout the years, and then survive facing Darth Vader, not once, but twice, and even in video game lore, is just crazy, because she's the only one that I know of that survived Darth Vader.
So here's my thought on that, because I like that idea. I love that idea more than anything. But right now, The Mandalorian, Jin he has his own show. They're talking about bringing in. I'm gonna go ahead and just call him by his name. His name is Grogu. We have Grogu that's off on his own adventure. They have like 4 other shows that are all getting their own adventures. I think there's a little too much going on in that world right now. If I'm being honest, if we're getting an open world type game, it's not technically, they haven't announced that it's an RPG. They said it's an open world game. I'm wondering how much they're throwing it back to like Knights of the Old Republic era or somewhere back because I mean we just got the books as well. That's kind of diving a little deeper into the full lore. How much are they just going to try to just open that entire world back up to the things that they cut off after the Disney merger?
And you know what? They honestly need to bring back KOTR, like give it like KOTR 3. You know what I'm saying? Knights of the Old Republic 3 or something like that, or New Republic. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be amazing.
That opens up because Knights of the Old Republic 3 is now an option because of Lucasfilm's gaming. Because of that, Knights of the Old Republic 3 is now an option. So very, very valid point there. That's very possible one of the directions this game could go in.
And they should also put it on console, not just PC. They should make it all the way around, including Nintendo Switch. And I think it would do great on Switch.
Switch would be awesome.
Oh yeah, no, that would be wonderful on Switch, especially. Oh yeah, no, that'd be great. Just like be able to take it anywhere. Oh.
Right, because I mean that way they can do exactly what Activision's doing with Call of Duty and make it cross-platform, so you can play with other players. Just like when you're playing Bethesda's game, what's it called, Elder Scrolls Online. You're not just playing with just guys on PlayStation. You're playing with guys on PC, and I think you're also playing on guys with Xbox. So. I think that would be a great deal if they were able to do that.
And obviously, all of this is speculation. We have absolutely no idea that I could find other than it's an open world game. So I think it's because of the Assassin's Creed games and how well they've handled those. Of Valhalla being one of the best size to
literally
travel ratio. So what was that? Sorry, Jay.
I said literally one of the best sized games. My neighbor's playing that game right now, and a thing that I like about the Assassin's Creed, I think my favorite one, and don't knock me for this, but I really did like Black Flag a lot. Black Flag was awesome. The only thing I hated about Black Flag was the 4 corners of the map where you had to face them big ass ships at the end. When they're just destroying you each way you go. But I mean, that took me 6 hours.
Oh boy,
I don't doubt that. Yeah, I was terrible at the ship sailing in Black Flag. That was by far the toughest Assassin's Creed for me. And it's not even that I don't like it. I was just bad at it.
Right. I was just bad at it, but it was still an enjoyable RPG.
It was super fun. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm excited to see where all of this goes, but let's go ahead and move on to our main point, our main topic of discussion today, which is, of course, God of War. So, developed by Santa Monica Studios, it was published by Sony as a PS4 exclusive. I mean, we kind of your standard stuff at the time, PS5. This is the direct sequel to 2010's God of War 3. It is the 8th installment in the franchise, and it does make it 9th in chronologic order as well. So the game takes place years after God of War 3. So it's not like it just jumps right in. Kratos has left Greece, moved north to Scandinavia, basically changed everything. He met a gal there who was of Norse lineage, we'll say. Falls in love. We pick up right after she has passed. So you start the game. She's just died. You have, sorry, I have my notes over here, but I'm trying to also do it from memory. It's rough. It is what it is. So you're starting out as Kratos Kratos trying to take care of his son. He's trying to teach him how to hunt, kind of give you the lay of the land, kind of show you what's going on. You start running into more and more bad guys along the way. Kind of shows that something's not quite right in the land. So his wife has set up a barrier in this forest. They find that the barrier has been broken, and one day a man comes to the door knocking and seems to know he's asking for someone specific, some godlike character, and obviously Kratos knows he's there for him. So we are looking. That's really the start of the game. I skimmed through all of my notes there, so it didn't just sound like I was reading it off to you. But that's the first boss battle. That is where we start. I do want to show you guys one thing though about this, because I focused skimmed through it, like I said, but I wanted to give a little bit of attention to Mr. Corey Barlog here. Okay, so I mentioned that this is just after his wife died. I said it multiple times, but Kratos is raising his son at this point in time by himself, and you can really tell at the very beginning that he's a very distant father. So what they're trying to do here is give Kratos a little bit of a different take, and we see him differently than just this badass macho character. So give you guys a second to kind of read over that. It's I'm not going to read it off to you guys either, but they're really focusing on seeing Kratos through Atreus's eyes and seeing him as a dad, not as a god. So it gives a different dimension to everything, really. So that said, we are to the boss battle. So guys, what did you guys think of the boss battle? It's the first time you're playing. It's a different feel to the game. What did you guys think of the battle?
It was completely.
Put you back on the screen too. There you go.
It was completely different. It was completely different than any other God of War game I've ever played, because it was literally like the first 10, 20 minutes into the game, and boom, you're already facing, somebody with, incredible
very
power.
Obviously malicious intentions and incredible power.
Right. And you can definitely tell he is of Viking origin. You know what I mean? Like you can tell just by looking at him that he's about to start some shit. And even if it's not with you, you're about to have a bad day.
Oh, yeah. And when it comes to his interaction with Kratos, like, it's very, very obvious that he's there to pick a fight. Like, this is not meant to be a soft confrontation. He is there to pick a fight. Kratos isn't just losing his temper over nothing, right? Like, but we bring up the different perspective as well, though. So a couple points I want to make to that as well. So first off, this is changing from a fixed camera view to an over-the-shoulder single shot take. Okay, so what they did, they literally shot this entire game. There are minus your initial loading screen in and any fast travel that you may be doing. If you're just progressing through the game, there are no cutscenes, or rather, like no fade to blacks, no camera cuts. It is one continuous shot. It's actually the second game that did this, though. It's actually the only other game that did it. Fun fact, is also a Viking-related game. Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice was the only other game at the time. No one else.
Other game to ever done that. No one else has been able to replicate that or do it to the extent, and then keep the graphics and everything looking as good as it looks. God of War took it to a whole new level.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that I like to, and I'm gonna mention this real quick, in God of War, the whole thing when they were at the awards, I believe it was a couple years ago, and the Atreus and Kratos were up on the stage, and he's like, "Say it, boy." I thought that was just the greatest moment in video game history of 2018. I thought that was so dope. So yeah, and I had to bring it up. Sorry.
No, you're right. Everything about, so let's start at the very, very beginning. So this game it started development only 4 years after God of War 3 ended. So this all started in 2014. 4 years, 2014. This game didn't release until 2018. So at the very beginning, one of the first things they did in 2016, when they really started announcing the game and starting to release it, is they went big. It was. Have you seen the website? The website is still up. If you get the chance to check it out, it is so cool. So you get to see the development from the very beginning until the very end. It has all of the original promotions that they did for the game. The movement. So at the time, PS3 was also doing the like movable back. They still do it. It's the movable backgrounds. So they had one of those released for
the dynamics.
The dynamics, yes, moving the dynamic background. So the website is built like that as well. So the promotion for this was very much a like big deal. They went heavy and they went hard. So no, great point, Jay. I appreciate that, because it's from the very beginning, and then 2016 hits, they begin doing kind of the promotions, and then we hit 2018. Now, this game, 4 years in the making, releases on super old technology. This game could release today, and I would believe that it's today's technology. I believe that the graphics and the gorgeousness of this game is 100% better than any of the other big games coming out right now, Assassin's Creed or Cyberpunk or whatever else. They did a better job 7 years ago than they're doing right now. What do you guys like? Would you guys agree with that? What are your guys' takes on the graphics?
I think the graphics were awesome. I think, well, I want to go back to the promoting, honestly, because you had a really good point there. No, you're fine. So I feel like the promoting of God of War when going Norse was like, I'm having a hard time remembering the commercials or the trailers, but it was so epic when you first realized he was doing the crossover, and that's where I was thinking of. That part.
And that's fair. And I'll play into that a little bit. We'll go back a little. Sorry guys, we're jumping back and forth. I am ADHD out the wazoo today, and I can't keep a train of thought to save my life, hence the notes. I am so sorry. So I will play into that just a little bit. But my biggest fear when they announced the game, when they first released it, was how are you going to change the view? How are you going to change the way that the game looks, the way that the game feels, and the entire not genre necessarily, but the entire mythology of the game? How do you change everything about a game and still keep it the same game? And I was so scared. I almost didn't want to buy the game because of that. And so even with their big epic announcements, we were kind of scared from the beginning. You know, they tried to push it, but it's hard to know what you're getting into during promotions.
No doubt. Yeah, you're right.
So, beyond just the, your basic, it's a different look, different whatever else. We also got different weapons. Kratos lost the Blades of Chaos.
Yeah,
he's put them away. They're gone, and we're introduced to a new weapon as well, the Leviathan axe. How do you guys feel the Leviathan axe played compared to, say, the blades?
It forces you to be patient. I think that's it. It changes it from your standard mash 'em up to you're slower, but you're strong. So you just gotta time your defense. And it's no longer you can keep tapping and just get away with it. A lot of the time, you have to actually play defense this time.
Here's my thing on it, and I'll be honest. It kind of shows his age.
Yeah, I was about to bring up. Absolutely,
it showed old man Kratos's age, even in the voice acting. You can tell the more raspier he is a little bit.
Which is amazing, though. Yeah.
Which is still good. I mean, to think that you can go from, Zeus to Zeus. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like
you're solemn and you're
exactly. And
yell at everything.
big props to the actor, the voice actor that plays him, because wasn't he part of Stargate, the cast of Stargate?
Before he a lot of different things. I don't know about.
He's been in a lot of different things, and I've seen his progression, and he is by far one of the best actors I've seen. I liked him in Stargate. I liked him in all of God of War.
Stargate. So his name is Christopher Judge, by the way, is the
Chris Judge.
And he is in Stargate. He did MacGyver, a few things in the 90s, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, some 21 Jump Street. Yeah, he's in a lot. Oh, hey, he even played one of Bane's henchmen in Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
I honestly thought that he did a really great job bringing Kratos to life the way he did, and then also displaying the different talents he has in the aging process of Kratos. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but throughout all the games, you can actually tell that Kratos is getting older. At one point he used to be immortal, but you can see it in every detail of the cover of every God of War. If you really go back and you look at it, you can see that they are slowly aging him. Now, we didn't expect there to be another God of War after 3. We just thought the world was in fucking chaos. But literally.
I grabbed him to see.
When you take a detailed look at his face, you'll notice he's getting a little bit older, slowly but surely. But you got to remember, he was a god at one point. So, they're kind of immortal. But after he lost his immortality, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you
have to look at it.
He always seems to find his way to that Blade of Olympus back in the day, though.
Right.
He always seems to get himself into trouble. But before we get too far off of his look, can I just point out that Kratos is an absolute babe with a beard, and he can get some anytime. Before we get too far off his looks there. Anywho, now again, I forgot where we were going with that. So we're just going to talk about how hot Kratos is. I think that they did a good job.
Great beard.
It's a great beard, but you can see the way his hip lines move from kind of more. Don't judge me for this, but they really brought him out and gave him what I'm going to go ahead and call a godly dad bod. And reflecting back on what I said earlier, where they were trying to show Kratos as a dad, how else do you do that but give him a dad bod? Like, he's still a god, he still has the power, but that's a dad bod if I'd ever.
Dude, the eyes for me it's actually my favorite part of the graphics. Thinking about it now, is he is so intense. His standard gaze. It's just like it is. Like Wolverine ain't got nothing. Wolverine doesn't have anything on Kratos.
I wouldn't disagree. So let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and cut Jay for just a few moments here. He's asked for a quick second, so we're gonna give him his time. We are gonna go ahead and move on a little bit when it comes to the world itself. Okay, so outside of this forest that I mentioned that had the barrier, so Atreus has never seen anything outside of this forest. That is where he has lived. It's where he's learned to hunt, do everything. And so right outside of this little forest of his is this massive, and it's really not even that massive compared to other video games, but it's this massive world full of adventure. Right? So between all of the different locations, I mean, you're basically in one giant lake. You get to meet the world serpent along the way. You'll kind of see as you go. But it's this lake. So in the middle of the lake, you have your bridge. You kind of learn more about that as you go. But then you have different portals to different worlds, and you actually do get to visit a lot of these different worlds. So you're not just stuck on Midgard within this one compact area. You are traveling to all sorts of different realms. So I don't want to say all the realms because it's not all the realms that you get to. But how many realms would you say that we actually get to travel to?
If I remember it, I think it was 4, maybe 5.
I was thinking,
I don't think it
do you
was.
count
You don't
Midgard?
get all like 7. Like, wasn't it 7?
It's nine realms.
9.
9.
Okay, yeah. So you don't. There's like they give you the option, which was something that is a gripe with me. They give you like they show up as an option on a couple, and there's no, you don't get to go there.
Yeah, it's really weird because like you have those options. It's almost as if it was meant to be a DLC,
Right?
or like they're just going to literally pick you up and drop you off right where you were. Like no, you're. But that would assume as well that you don't have to unlock those games or that you've already played the first one. Because what about those that are coming in on God of War 2 that aren't necessarily, they haven't unlocked anything? Are they just going to assume that you've played? It kind of makes things, opens up a weird world there. Let's go ahead. Jay is back. We are adding him. There you are, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Everything all right, my man?
What would you guys think if it was still going to be just God of War, but Ragnarok was a DLC that they took their time with, and those realms would be unlocked? What would you think of that?
I like that.
First of all,
if you were to almost, what you would have to do is create a DLC that's so massive that it's almost like a chapter 2. Like the game itself was chapter 1, the DLC would have to be chapter 2, and just literally drop the fans on their head because it's what we all want to do. Let's just do that. Like it's awesome. I like that idea. I would be down for that, but I don't know how likely it would be.
It's just a great idea when you come to think about it in terms of.
I love speculating. It's my favorite thing.
Exactly, but see. Just say that maybe one of the devs are actually watching our show, and I'm not saying that they are, but
no,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what if they actually take that idea and use that? I'd be like, well, shit. If you do that, make sure all 3 of us get a free fucking copy.
At least, you know what? I'll take a PS5 in the game for free, and something to put back here.
Yeah,
that's all I ask. That's all I ask. You can have the idea.
Yep.
I'll take 3 Sobies and a grilled cheese sandwich. You don't even need to pay me. Just
look, I would want the game, the PS5, and a replica set of the Blades of Chaos, so I can hang them on my wall.
That would
I'll accept those. Anything.
And I would like to have them signed by the voice actors.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That would be good.
That could be that. I do like that idea though, to do it as a DLC. I definitely feel that the game leaves you in full limbo. We don't really know what's going to come next. They did a very, very good job of leaving the rest of this to the imagination. Yeah. We have no idea what's going to come. Well, I mean, okay, that's a lie. We know what's going to come. Ragnarok is coming, obviously. I mean, do you guys know the story of Ragnarok?
I understand. I have a base understanding.
This was the next part of the that I wanted to talk about real quickly here. When it comes to the story of God of War versus actual Norse mythology, I mentioned it. I don't know if it was last week or a few weeks ago, but the stories that you're being told along the way there by various characters, Mimir, whoever else, most of those are fairly accurate, but the story that they're playing into with Ragnarok is so far, it's broken at when I don't want to say so far broken as in so far it's broken. No, it is so fucking far broken from the original story that their Ragnarok is going to be so different than anything. And I think Doodles will be better at talking about this. We're going to try to do it spoiler free. Everything has been tried to be done spoiler free. I don't know if anybody cares, but so when it comes to the gameplay though, and the story itself, how do you anticipate that they fix something to be able to play into Ragnarok like that, Doodles?
I think, well, either you're going to have way different style bosses, and you're going to have to compensate with different style gameplay.
Okay.
Because if you're going to deal with something as massive as Ragnarok, how are you going to represent that on a scale of Kratos? That's where my nerves get settled in. So I mean, I don't know what you would have to change to represent it, but I mean they've always came up with the best ways to represent just ungodly just enemies. So I mean, I think they'll probably deal with it the same way they dealt with Hades a lot of the time, or back in the Greek days, Hades, all those guys.
That makes sense, and because I mean, obviously, the stories that they did with Athens and Greece, like, yeah, they're kind of set in the history, but they're not necessarily the stories, right?
Yeah, they're not held to it. They can delve.
They've proven that they can twist and turn and make it still feel real. When it comes to Ragnarok, though, I mean, ultimately, that's just the end of the world. That's all that Ragnarok really comes down to. And how you get there may vary, but fate's decided. Ragnarok will happen.
Yeah.
And just the way that they have mixed and intertwined two different but similar mythologies is something that is just unparalleled. I cannot think of another game that merges two religions in such a way. I mean, even and I know it's trying to be, I keep going back to Valhalla. I play a lot of Valhalla. There's a reason I haven't been streaming lately. Valhalla. As a fun fact, I've cleared. I still can't continue on with my story. I'm going to ADHD for a second. I still can't continue on with my story. I am still stuck at one of those broken spots. However, they have confirmed that it is eventually going to be on the docket. It's one of the ones they're still investigating, though. And
so you got
I've been clearing. Yeah, well, I've been stuck. I have cleared every. Okay, so I started out at the level 20s. And I literally worked my way around the map. I'm just clearing every single checkpoint along the way. I'm at level like 350 right now. And I'm about to go back in. The next part of the story that I have to take, that I have to play is like a level like 160. Okay, so like I'm going to go in so ungodly powerful that it's not even going to be funny. It's going to be the greatest moment of my life. And then it will be so much vindication after so much heartache with this stupid game that I can't seem to pull myself away from because I have an addiction. Jay's back. Hi, Jay. Yeah, we do that. All right. So
that was great. You know what? I didn't even have to say anything.
Wondrous. So, Jay, you are muted, my man. Can you unmute yourself for me?
I heard everything, dude. He's like, I have an addiction. I have all of it.
No problem. Yeah,
I'm going to destroy people.
I get it.
I'm gonna try to play more games. I played some Call of Duty the other day. We're gonna do a Call of Duty episode down the road. I don't play it, so it's hard for me to do an episode on a game I don't play. Bear with me. We will get
it felt very weird, didn't it?
We'll get there.
Dropping.
So I keep saying that I'm going to play other games and I'm going to do things, but I realized I was using I literally I play on my Xbox and I was playing Call of Duty on my Xbox as well because I didn't want to turn my computer on, and I was trying to pick things up and it's supposed to be X, and I kept hitting Y.
You got the keyboard and mouse thing going on.
No, the Y is what picks everything up on Assassin's Creed, actually. So I was trying to pick it up and I kept trying to do the Odin sight. I kept trying to do that to view where the enemies were. It was not a fun time. Okay,
I've had to recently learn Switch controls.
Alan, that is actually on the list as well. I just want to throw that up there as well. Switch controls.
Yeah, because I didn't play the Switch at all. I've been playing nothing but Hyrule Warriors lately. I've had to learn Switch controls. I understand the button confusion. I've learned a whole different thing, and it made no sense. but
Well,
I got it.
That actually
Yeah.
segues perfectly here. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the episode. It was such a convoluted episode. There's so much that goes into God of War that, and it's such an I don't want to say it's an old game now, but it's a game that pretty much I feel everybody has played or has been introduced to. So I'm all right if we want to jump around everywhere.
It's a game now that they consider a PlayStation classic.
Yeah, it's a whole whole gen console behind now, guys. Come on, we're talking about this is so yesteryear.
It's a classic. It won awards and stuff.
It did. Game of the
I
year.
think it's still winning awards, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be winning awards still.
Probably. So, all right, guys. We're gonna go ahead though. When it comes to wrapping things up, Doodles. You started your Twitch channel. Go ahead and tell us about your Twitch. What do you plan to play?
Well, like I'm gonna start off with Dark Souls. Any of those, I got 1 through 3, so I'll probably be doing playthroughs of those. Got Bloodborne as well. I'm probably gonna just do 100% playthroughs, and we'll see how it goes for there. And yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. Well, Twitch is up there on the screen there. It's the dude we do. Make sure to check him out. He's pretty cool. He's a little dorky when playing video games. So you gotta check him out. He's hilarious. Jay, you as well. You're also not necessarily streaming, but you also have a channel coming out. We talked about it at the beginning, but I want to highlight it. Tell us about your channel. What is the cause?
The cause of my channel is just to let it out. It's a weekly release of all the things you want to talk about. Doesn't matter whether it's cars, whether it's technology, whether it's video games, whether it's movies, actors, maybe some political stuff, but not too much, because I don't want that to be the main focus of the channel. The whole point of the channel is a release, and also every once in a while bring awareness. As you know, if you watched my my video on Facebook and on my channel, I am a father of a son who's autistic, so bringing awareness to these issues that are going on in the world, where there are parents dealing for the first time with autism. I would like to try to shed more light on that as well. So Let's Talk About It is pretty much about everything. And the relaunch of the channel will be in February, and we'll mostly be focusing on Black History Month for the month of February. There might be 2 episodes a week, so not every episode will be focused on only the first. I want to say, since I'm doing it twice a week, it'll be one day it'll be about Black history, another day it'll be about something else. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to take the main focus away from the topic at hand, which is a release. So, and also I'm actually starting a new series as well, and I'm actually going to make my announcement here. I will be. It's more of like a day in the life of a dad with autism, and showing what I go through every day. I might have my best friend come and film a little bit and stuff like that, so I can edit and stuff like that, so you guys can see what I'm actually doing with Luther, who is my son, who's autistic and stuff like that, and showing that, you know, it's not all easy, especially from the time that you get up to the time that you know, go to sleep. You're constantly on the grind, and then even after you go to sleep, you're still getting back up in the middle of the night because he's awake. So, you know, these bags are real. Okay. So, they're earned. they are earned. And that's something that I'm going to be doing later on in the year after I'm done with most of the stuff. And I just want to shed light on that, as well as shed light on, things going on with women and also things going on with guys. So Let's Talk About It is pretty much a release of everything, but also to spread awareness. And also thank you, Alan. I appreciate that, sir. And big shout out to Alan. He's been here this entire episode, by the way.
Yeah, Alan. Plenty of comments up in here as well. It's been nice.
Right? It's been great to have Alan here. So Alan, thank you so much for your comments, for your love toward the channel and stuff like that. I am very grateful, and so is NatesLegend, and so is Duke.
Always. Well, guys, I was thinking about something while you were while you were discussing your announcement there. That's awesome. I love that idea. First of all, that's seriously, I wanted to give you the time. That's great announcement. I really do love it. Anywho, so it leads us to a great point. I actually have a friend who could help you shoot this video. He also happens to be the producer of our show. His name is Patrick Beatty. He's fantastic. He does great things with films. He does reviews. He has his own channel, but he's the kind of the producer of the show, and we always want to give a big shout out to Patrick. Seriously, let's pull that up here so you guys can see where he's at. So he is at Pappy Reviews, PatrickBeattyReviews.com, and of course Gaggle of Geeks across the board, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of that. So if you haven't checked him out, please feel free to do so. Thank
you so much, Patrick, for this opportunity. Also, thank you.
All right.
Speaking of Patrick, one more thing. So Patrick just hit 300 followers on Twitter today. His goal is to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. If y'all want to go give him a follow, he's pretty good. He just posts movies, silly movie stuff all day. It's fantastic. He's a great follow. So
one thing you can know about Patrick is he will watch the movies that you don't want to watch. And that's something that I give him, and then he'll give you a reason to watch them. And that's one of the, and if it wasn't for Patrick, Let's Talk About It would not be a thing. So all thanks to him and him and Chaz, Campbell Evans as well, man. They are such awesome people.
All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate it. Great little segue there. Had to throw that in. I'm NatesLegend. If I can ever get off my addiction, I'm NatesLegend, and I'm an addict to Assassin's Creed. It has actually been since the last time I played. Not to make light of it, but I am wondering if I have a problem. It is the only thing I do. I'm not okay with it. So when I'm not playing that, I promise to stream a little bit more. I'm trying to kind of break some habits. So follow me at NatesLegend, again, across the board, YouTube, Twitch, all of them. Give me a follow. That is our show. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining in. Keep on gaming.